Every time I start a project, I spend at least 10 minutes sorting through these two carts. They were supposed to save space in my one-car garage shop, but they've kind of turned into chaos on wheels. So today, I'm fixing that. I'm going to upgrade my router table cart and my table saw cart to be far more functional, easier to use, cleaner, and most importantly, organized. Because if you have limited shop time like I do, you know every minute counts. So let's start with my router table cart. This thing's been kind of driving me nuts. My router bits, the accessories for my router, and the tools like wrenches that I use with it have been scattered all over the shop. So I'm gonna start by building a couple of drawers into my router table cart that's gonna help me centralize everything into one place. Wanting to utilize some plywood I had on hand, I cut down some 3/4 sheets and started assembling my drawer boxes using pocket holes. 3/4 inch plywood is undoubtedly overkill for drawer boxes, but hey, at least we know they'll be strong. I laid out and drilled some holes at the drill press for router bit storage at the top of the drawer. I was really happy with how the drawer was turning out, but then I realized I hadn't quite thought through the shape of all my router bits. I had my doubts at first, but I'm really happy with how this drawer is starting to turn out. It isn't perfect, but it's shop furniture. I think the organization at the bottom here could be improved in the future, but even just having a drawer with everything in one place is a great start. Okay, so now that the router bit and accessories / tools drawer is all set, I want to work on this big space right here. I'm thinking of a tall drawer with multiple levels potentially. I know I want to put a couple extra routers in there along with a few other odds and ends, so I'm going to kind of design it as I go. I'm really happy with how the router table cart has turned out. I have one drawer with all of my most commonly used router bits up top and easily accessible, with extra storage for more router bits, wrenches, and other little accessories underneath. I also have that deep drawer where I can store a couple of extra routers, as well as a few of my jigs, like my circle cutting jig. Okay, next, let's talk about the table saw cart. Unlike the router table cart, I don't have stuff scattered all over the shop for this one. All the table saw stuff generally lives with the table saw. But these big open spaces collect sawdust, they're disorganized, and they kind of just promote having a mountain of stuff rolling around under my cart. I want something that's going to be really easy to pull out and grab items from every single time that I use the saw. This is going to be the quick access storage, whereas down here, it's going to be a little bit of deeper storage. Items that I need less often, but I still want to keep with the saw. So I've been trying to figure out what I want to do with these tall, deep storage drawers. I've realized that the space on the right of my cart isn't going to be wide enough for what I had originally imagined. It'll be great for storing some blades and maybe some push sticks, that sort of thing, but I'm going to need quicker access storage in one of these drawers. So similar to the router table cart, I'm going to build a small second level for this drawer with a box that can be taken out to access the items underneath. I should have really thought about how narrow a working space this would be before I assembled my drawer boxes. We're back on the floor. There's a couple mistakes here that I needed to fix. One is I originally mounted the drawer slides too close to the front of the drawer. This prevented the drawer from coming out far enough to be able to take this inner box shelf thing out. I fixed that, but I realized I didn't take that into account when I was thinking about the depth of my drawers. I was gonna put a face on each of these drawers similar to the router table cart. That way it would hide the gaps and the drawer slides, but I don't have the depth for that now. Thankfully, the universe gives us gifts every once in a while. Now that I've had to move the drawer slides back from the front face of this, I actually have room to cut a new front for this drawer. And rather than plastering a new face on top of this, I can just make this piece the front of the drawer. So I was just taking the front off of the second drawer for the table saw cart, and I had a bit of a revelation. I was thinking about what I want to put in this drawer. Some Craig accessories, my glide coat, but most importantly, my miter gauge. And I realized I don't really want to be pulling the drawer open to grab my miter gauge. If I need it, I want to be able to just pull it out. I'm kind of thinking about switching this one up and doing an open front with some sort of mount for the miter gauge here on the side. I think this is going to make it easy to grab it and pull it out when I need it, but also allow me to pull out the drawer and access some of these materials here. Okay, we're in the home stretch. Last, but certainly not least, I'm going to build a narrow drawer for the right-hand side of my table saw cart. This is going to be a really good place to store some extra blades, push sticks, and other flat things. Let's get to it. I've given myself a little bit of a treat right at the end of this project because calling this a drawer is actually pretty charitable. It's really just a single board for mounting stuff to, a face on the front of it, and a handle. That's it. When I first built this cart, which, by the way, there's free plans available on my website for it, I meant to put drawers in all these spaces. Take a lesson from me. If you're gonna build something like this, put the drawers in right from the start. And that's it. I couldn't be more happy with how these drawers have turned out. I didn't even realize how bad the clutter had gotten in other parts of the shop. Now, tools and accessories live with the tool that they're for. Organizing your shop doesn't need to be an all or nothing proposition. Every little step that you take reduces the friction just a little bit more, and that makes it easier to get started on the next project. If this gave you ideas for organizing your own shop space, no matter how small or big it is, drop a comment down below. Tell me, what are you going to work on improving next? How are you going to improve your flow? Or if you can't do it now, what do you hope to be able to do in the future? Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.